well, ironically enough, the sun has already set. Map number 1 is about to begin.
Here we go. So excited for another Vice, not on Pearl, but this time back-to-back for Yes I Can on Sunset. We talked about the A main control, but it's just a single Vice actually guarding this A.
Okay, quick little flash. You can see already Potter is just backing away, but I don't know if this is going to be enough to really stop them. Yes I Can has already used his utility, trying to run away. Already gets tagged, and that's the call right now for Full Sense to just pull the trigger and start going in onto the A site. There is some quick rotations coming in from Fancy as well, as Foxy is already here to help the case. A couple of flashes could turn the tides here, but you do see Full Sense taking it slower.
Yeah, 3 stack already, and a lot of the flashes available on the side of Fancy. They might react better on this elbow.
Yeah.
Hold.
Nia, there's the flash already. They hear the footsteps, and I love the bait from Full Sense. I don't think Nia's going to know about this, but who's going to get the deal? That's going to be Nia first. Quick little trade coming in from Sushi Boys. Alert, if he pushes through this, he's going to get trapped on the wall. Not sure if he's aware of that, but it's not going to matter this time. It's Twilight. Immediately cuts him down. 3 to 4 remaining. Full Sense control is well heavily done here on elbow. The flash is set up from Yes I Can. Could be good. Not enough against Sushi Boys. They still are not willing to just charge into this. Wants to clear every little corner that they can. Great fault line as that will fall. Foxy. Shock Dart comes in. Plant goes through. And there's going to be the quick little crossfire here just to make sure the plant goes according to plan.
Let's see what this is going to do. Leviathan already tagged.
Yeah, we're not done just yet. Twilight alone. 15 seconds before he does get his recon dart up and running. This is just way too many delays. He's already got spotted by the camera as well. Peek, and 3 people will counter you. It's such a big challenge for him. And I don't think he has to actually have a lot of time, especially with 3 players still having to be dealt with.
Yeah, it's the crossfire, the Bermuda Triangle angle, unless...
Nope. Fault line, okay. Nah, it's not enough
No
time. That spike is already screaming explosion. Might lose over all of their lives? No, they're just out. That was a clean push from Full Sense. A little bit of, well, not super clean, but good enough in the sense that I think Fancy United didn't really know if they were going to rotate into the other side or just keep pushing.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? They held their ground. Full Sense. They held their ground. They didn't make any noise, which forced Fancy to rotate to mid, maybe check A. So they really held their silence, and it was really worse because they only had to deal with, what, 1 or 2 other members that were on site.
Absolutely. I do like the cascading push, right? It makes your opponents kind of just second guess. Very aggressive control here on middle from Fancy United, as you're already seeing. And it is actually working in favor right now of Fancy, up until I just say that Sushi Boys and John Olsen go to work. They clean up house, and they just finish off this second round in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, in an instant just like that with a bunch of ghosts as well. You can really see Sushi Boys and Leviathan just really online. Doesn't really matter what weapons they're holding. They're really super confident coming into this matchup.
Yeah.
Full Sense. Let's see what the setup is, because so far I've not really seen the aggressive A main control that I think Fancy really did well in their matchup yesterday against U5.
Yeah, the question is, how well can they actually do that when there's like 2 initiators that can do things better, you know, on the Fancy side? Potter is already sneaked up here on top mid. This is incredible. The timing for him. Question is he going to be able to deal with Foxy? No, he actually just looks at the incorrect time. That'll force Full Sense to go the other direction. Alert already rampaging here through Newsstand. It is creating some space. This should open up the B site, as we are going to be planting this one. Post plant's going to be a 4 to 5.
They got to be careful. John Olsen has covert operation in mid.
He's hearing all the footsteps, the rotation as well. The timing could not be more crucial. 1, 2, 3, but he's just a little bit too fast. He's trying to make as much noise as possible. Great paranoia from Leviathan. Unfortunately, could not really play through the strengths of it. The push does only get 1 kill for John Olsen. The number is still favoring somehow Fancy United. How are they not being dropped down? John Olsen tries to at least deal, but not going to happen any further as Twilight shuts him down. That's going to be the first round here for Fancy United.
That could have been a Full Sense 3-0 start, even on Fancy's bonus. I really think it all started, the potential started when Potter was able to take control of mid. The timing wasn't in their favor. And then second layer, John Olsen had a very nice angle in mid, but unfortunately, the Breach and Neon were just too fast for him to sort of catch up and catch them off guard. So Fancy, really wonderful job on that round.
Yeah, it's one of those, you know, in your head, it should work type of moments. And then when you try to do it, you're like, we're just 1 or half a second late, and it all just goes to, you know, just goes down the toilet.
Yeah.
Gotta watch my words carefully here.
That's true, true. It just goes down the toilet indeed. Flushed out, speaking of.
Okay.
Flushed out of here.
Yeah, they're trying to do that here on A main. Aggressive control. The pinch coming in as well. Nia charges right through, does get the trade, but it will push us into a 2-2. Ultimate actually goes through here, even though I thought John Olsen was actually not able to utilize it. He will be able to. Does get that quick little information.
Scanning ahead.
Nice little use on his Cypher cage to get more information on where they are, or stop them from pushing in. That is a very far up into the air. Twilight, one more onto Cruz, 1 versus 1. Sushi Boys is very low. Stun connecting? Not really. No diffuses just yet, so he does know that Cruz is off it. Goes in for the swing. And unfortunately, we do the cha-cha-cha, and Cruz is the one that actually dances to the rhythm, gets the W, and that's going to be Fancy with another round.
Yep, definitely music to Fancy's ears. 2 for 2 now for Fancy, and they're really putting up a really good fight here on Sunset. Full sense. It always feels like it's so close, but once the numbers diminish, that's when they might have an issue. Again, I want to praise the like that expression from Cruz. I really like to praise their aiming control. I like how they're getting more confidence. Again, you have that fault line into the Neon dash in, and then hopefully Nia gets 1 or 2 kills. They've done this before on Abyss. This wouldn't say exact combination, but it's the same concept of Nia being catapulted forward.
Hello! Potter just goes in for the drive-by, gets the pick. It's gonna be the 1-for-1 as Foxy does not, actually does get the kill there though. That does stop Fancy's, I think, great big plan here. They had a Steel Garden available right now for Yes I Can's Vice.
And now it's totally gone, including the spike as they move towards B. At least Cruz is right there with a Cosmic Divide, just in case they need some sort of panic button.
Ooh. I do like... Oh. He's got to run. Don't want to take damage from the Aftershock. I do like the noise being made by the drone, though. That does signify that there might be still some players of Full Sense still hovering over A when B might be the play done here. You're now seeing that Fancy United did get a whiff of that kind of play there and immediately start rotating some of their players, but it might be a little bit too late, and the plant on the spike will be successful.
They've got Cosmic Divide for this retake. Will deny any sort of taps. Clues for the spike.
Ooh, I love that stun. Can't get away. That's going to be a great one. Twilight's only holding into a Marshall or an Outlaw. I will take that back. It's pretty strong, pretty good. Now the retake follows through. Weapons on Full Sense, not really good at long range, so they have to play this as well as they can. Great pick from Nia as he backs away into the corner. Uses the fast lane. Here comes the pinch. But they're actually able to isolate. And Faxi actually gets them without the need of help of his Neon.
Doesn't even need that overdrive. On paper, it was such a good retake. I thought I was gonna fall short considering that they don't have that Cosmic Divide to block off B main, but at the end of the day, that pinch from Boba from Market was basically enough for them to rush through.
Oh, that was how Potter couldn't really get the second kill if possible. The flash just really put him in a spot where he couldn't do anything. So now Fancy United, they've turned the tables here, Riku. 3-2, and it's 3 straight rounds as well. They're looking pretty on the economy too here.
They've got ult, Steel Garden, just as you said earlier. Rolling Thunder, very important retake ults or delay ults as well if they want to play for time and put pressure on Full Sense. They do have Hunter's Fury. I think their post plant will be decent. It's just that getting into the site and actually getting into position for post plants is what I'm seeing is the issue here. Fancy is just so fast with how they just enter through these sites.
Yeah, and again, I think Potter is just not getting the heat. His heat level, his ability to just play that flow state. to the benefit of Full Sense. They just actually go peek each other. Whitlow stun coming in. Nia wants this blood as he follows through. Aftershock forcing out Sushi Boys. Rolling Thunder used, but he couldn't really get the value. Now they do, as the follow-up from Fancy United is going to be successful. Spike has been dropped down on mid, and this is just a hullabaloo, man. They can't really do anything. Fancy United is right on top of things. Leviathan trying to commit, or rather trying to fend them off as best as he can. Does his senses tell him otherwise? Oh, perfectly read. All down to yes, I can, and he is stuck all the way on his
30
spawn.
seconds left.
He has harnessed the flow indeed. Able to look from different directions. A flicking at Foxy. Yes, I can. Steel Garden only for the retake, but I think it's a little risky. It's like one of those things where you might want to save that for the next round
10
instead.
seconds left.
Maybe Full Sense
Spike
is able to take it to even in this map.
I agree. Definitely don't want to, you know, use such a big ultimate that I feel like, even though it's kind of cool, you take away the primary weapons of Full Sense. They're so well spread out that when you're about to fight like the second or third person, they're already able to use their guns again. It's not ideal. So definitely have to back away. I don't know what kind of happened on that start of the round though. It felt like Full Sense, right? It felt like they were supposed to lose. Fancy's utility just cascaded very slowly because you had Rolling Thunder rolls, and they had chances to just punish the play, and they were able to do so.
It's all because of Leviathan. I feel like playing on tiles underneath the smoke, just really playing that so well, even though Fancy was just trying to deny information and try to sneak their way into that area. But at the end of the day, it is still one ult utilized by...
And gets through the bend and then seeing what happens on A. They're actually starting to spread around a little bit. So who's making, whoever's making the calls right now for Full Sense is starting to catch that rhythm of Fancy here.
Oh yeah, it's really good adjustment for them. B, the pincer from
Hello?
elbow. So yeah, everywhere else
realize.
is too much. They're just gonna leave. They're out of there.
Yeah. Down, you know, casually down 70. Gotta love it.
Dangerous.
All right.
And they're on eco too.
That's true. That's true. You don't want to put yourself into half HP when your opponent is full eco. It just is not pretty.
Nope, not at all.
John Olsen actually heard the jumps from Nia as he was using that sprint. Okay, hold on. There's a little bit of noise here on A main. That's a catch onto Potter as well. No one holding the fort right now for Fancy, and I think they might just go and tuck tail and run onto the B side, which could actually be good if Cruz gets knocked down. John Olsen's alone by himself here on mid, and the timing is just going to be perfect. Now he finds like a bajillion people on mid right now. Does get the trade. That'll be the upgrade of the weapon onto Nia, but it shouldn't matter too much anymore because the plant will go through. A main is compromised, or B main rather is compromised.
Nia, you know what he can do with a Vandal at hand. Not a lot of utility anymore from the Neon.
Likes to use that ultimate. Definitely wants to. Arc Rose is also available from Yes I Can here. You can see Sushi Boys is just slowly trying to be reactive to the flashes. Doesn't actually need to. The crossfire with his teammate is just absolutely perfect. Now Nia's by himself. 1 versus 3. Peek through the smoke, and you'll get smoked yourself. No, held on. Okay, never mind. There you go. Head tag. He just gets Goomba stomped by Sushi Boys. It's a him, Sushi.
Yum. It's again a beautiful hold, wonderful hold from Full Sense there, and very interesting to me that the hesitation from Fancy to hold the Steel Garden for so long, especially that it felt like a fighting chance as Nia had that Vandal. They're trying to do a pincer as well coming from Market and Boba, but after they fell through from the crossfire, it just didn't really end too well.
Now, can they at least stop that situation from happening again here, right? It looked like Fancy had a good idea of what was to come right now, but unfortunately, and I do have to say this as well, I think Full Sense are also realizing how fast Nia rotates. Oh, hold on. Ooh, gets the escape.
Scary.
Yeah, anyways, real quick what I was just mentioning. I think they're also realizing that Nia's is kind of trigger happy with his rotations. And he just keeps rotating from site to site, and that might actually be a good thing in this situation. That being said, though, he does get a kill onto Alert, and this could be a good start right now for Fancy. Ooh, Nia's already on the site. No plant to be done as well. Smoke's dissipating already. John Olsen! Did he see it? Did he see the weapon? No, Nia's just too quick. What a flick! And he's out for more. Leviathan trying to run away, and okay, that's just sickening. Cruz is alone. He's already hearing the plant go through, and it's all the way through the A site. I mean, they've been hoodwinked, they've been bamboozled. It was supposed to be B, but there's no heat there. It's all the way on the other side.
It's really amazing bait because John Olsen was actually on a default plant on B, so you'd really think that they're going to be investing their resources there. Crossfire again. Don't even need it, Asarai. Full sense now. It feels like they've read the book. All they gotta do, maybe lose 3 times, assess what's there to repair, and then they don't even need to use a lot of these important ults from Full Sense. It's just red lights that is actually green on their end at the moment.
I like that. It was, it's the mental gymnastics that they have to go through, right, for against Full Sense here. They're starting to spread out a whole lot more. Full Sense was playing a lot compact a couple of rounds ago, but you know, you talk about the 3 rounds, third time's the charm, right? After 3 rounds, it's all done. They've downloaded it. They've gotten the information that they need, and now Full Sense are back into the swing. Fancy United, we still haven't really seen, I think, this Vice from Yes I Can, at least in this game specifically, really get that value because, I mean, as Vice, you want people to push your site, but when they realize that you're there, you just back away, no?
Yeah, they completely avoid you.
Oh, he triggered it.
Enemy can do that. So they can come back for it again. They can try to rotate, pull everybody onto B, and then do the same thing that they did in the previous round. Their biggest problem is always the elbow, pincer, so they really need to pull the rest of Full Sense elsewhere. Now
they actually have some options here, right? They triggered the shear already, so they can go again onto the A site. Sure, there's going to be maybe the thorns there, but at least there's no, or the razor vine, excuse me, and they actually triggered it, and now they just go slowly. No more arc rows, no nothing. Yes, I Can's alone with a sheriff, so he's good with it, but I don't know how far he can actually be good when there's like 4 people marching into the site.
30 seconds left.
Exactly, but look at this quick rotate. They're already at Link and Alley, so maybe, just maybe.
Oh, okay. No weapons for you. Dash right in. Potter, here's the rotation. There's going to be fight against him, and he is just down to 4. Can't really run for dear life. Twilight, though, is helping out with his Hunter's Fury all the way from downtown, and somehow that combination is just enough to stop Full Sense from pushing in. Even more than just enough. It was the whole thing that won them that round. Absolutely beautiful combination. A couple of kills through the smoke will not change anything because Fancy United picking up that round.
That was spicy. That was beautiful read from Fancy. Activating that Steel Garden, knowing that, okay, in about 20 seconds, they're going to go in. I know they're here. And they had just a good, phenomenal read again against Full Sense. Steel Garden, Hunter's Fury, and Overdrive utilized there. No weapons against the laser hands of Nia. So at the end of the day, it was an eco, but they were able to at least convert a lot of these key ultimates because, again, they've been holding on to these important ults for quite a while now. So this is such a close game, Asarai. Full Sense right now, you can really tell that they don't really look like, you know, the all smiles confident. They look super serious.
Yeah. I mean, this is a very tough battle for them to kind of, or not kind of, but really to go through at this point. And again, this is one of those teams that have really faced so much adversity here, correct? Right? They've been just stopped so many times already. They wanted to go far into, I would say, Ascension and whatnot, and haven't really gotten that dub that they were hoping for. They got eliminated by Boom Esports. They've been beaten by Synprisa. So Full Sense, you gotta have to feel for them as well, because this is one of those tournaments that if they can't really get this is already you know, end of the year. What else is there for them? So anyways, we're gonna be going back into the round, and a very aggressive push right now for Fancy United. This is our fort. You can't do anything about it. Nia, though, okay, coming around the flank. That was beautiful. The flash did not hit him. Might have been able to convert so many kills. Coming around, Twilight trapped in the sidelines. And as the dust settles, it's a 2 versus 1. Both teams expending resources, and somehow right on top is going to be Full Sense.
I really thought that was going to be a
Spike planted.
fancy advantage. That was such a beautiful flash, really good encirclement, but against 2 that is not playing behind pillar, this might be difficult.
Okay. Quiet as a cucumber.
One
Cruz.
enemy remaining.
Timing is just... Ooh, chef's kiss. Now he's got a bit of leeway now. Has to go slowly near the spike. He has to tap it, but tries to smoke himself, but gets caught by Alert. Sleeping, and that is not good.
If you're
That's
not
going to
a
be Full
good shot
Sense
today,
picking it up.
Don't worry. There are other
I really
ways
like
to
the
be
shift
useful.
and attempt from Fancy to try to play more aggressively instead of you know waiting onto A, try to pinch them there. They decided to take the party to them at B main, but they were so ready for that encirclement from the side of Fancy. So Full Sense, I heard the Rolling Thunder as well, and I think one thing for me is that Cruz is unable to use an opportunity to use the Cosmic Divide. There's no opportunity. It feels like
Revealing
the
area.
round just finished. There are going to be less members on their side, so it's a bit awkward for him to find these prime examples for him to really make value off of that ult.
Yeah, and if you use it as a defender, right, it kind of separates as well your teammates that might be rotating slower from the other side, and that is...
Go, go, go.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Coming around the corner. What is happening in this round? Both teams losing players just kind of dilly-dallying at some point. And that's going to be the 1-to-1. Looking into this, Potter slowly creeping up onto the B site here right now on News. And no one's here to greet him, but I do like the positioning from Cruz as he is somewhere tucked around B main. They might not be able to expect this.
I don't think so either, but somebody's near him. Sushi Boy is right
Spike
around the corner.
planted.
You should be careful.
Got it. Concealment.
Okay.
Oh, Leviathan as well. Really good position onto mid, so he can set up a very dirty flank here.
True.
Enemy
Oh,
mark.
his timing could be brutal. He's about to catch like 3 players. Okay, let's count. 1, 2. Let's see if we can get a third.
One enemy
He
remaining.
gets it. That's it. Cruz alone by himself, not going to be able to do anything all the way through B main. And as you mentioned, Riku, that timing on
round
Leviathan
before the
is just absolutely monumental.
Now I'm gonna be paranoid, but you don't have the chance anymore because it's gonna be the last round of the half already until we go to the second. And this was just really good read, good timing. You hear the neon, they're probably stacked up upon each other, and it was the right call from Leviathan. Again, he has been online since round 1 of this map, so he doesn't really show any signs of stopping.
I could. All right, I'll tell my thoughts after this round and maybe even have after halftime. Potter is wanting to go for some blood right now. Spots it out. Couldn't really get out the weapon in time, and this is just going... Okay.
Hello?
Full sense, pulling the trigger, full sending it. Not really the best bet as of this point. Alerted Sushi Boys now going for the committance, and they get pushed back. It's all down into the hands of Alert, and even though it looked like they did so much, it really amounted to very little, as they only really had 1 player caught. That's going to be 5-7, and Fancy just push back.
Switching sides.
Like I mentioned, real quick, Fancy United, because they're committed to the Vice as their only Sentinel, right? It has to force him to be aggressive because it's not your typical Sentinel. You don't get any information. You don't really get that site protect, so you have to be proactive with how you control the map. And Fancy United, they have to thread that fine line as Potter threads the fine line of just blasting them from the back. Absolutely beautiful positioning. Great trades altogether. They only lose the Neon. And Fancy, they lose themselves the Vice and their Neon.
Yeah, you don't really expect that from the get-go. Maybe you expect that from, what, after 15 seconds in, once it's really quiet, or maybe even an eco round where they kind of lie in wait over there. Not right off the bat, so totally understandable why Fancy wouldn't see this coming. But let's take a look at how very silent the game is. I wanted to bring up, Asteroid, how Nia feels like the party starter. There has not been a single quiet round during the first half. It's always been Nia going, woohoo, let's go. And now he's dead, so that's why it's quiet.
All right, sure.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. Totally understand. It kind of has to be again, right? You're trying to utilize the Neon, but at some point, when does the
Spike
madness
planted.
have to take a bit of a breath? If you overdo this, you might force your teammates to follow up where you were, but you're just a bit too far from the from where the plays or from where they actually are. Anyways, Twilight is making a bit of noise right now. Comes in from the ring around the Rosie there. Leviathan making some noise. Now he's starting to go for the defuse. Cruz, can he stop him? Then
enemy
tracks. Is that going to be the grabby? Well, no. That's going to be Fancy United. Or actually, it was. That's going to be Fancy United able to stop them down. Cruz with the 4K.
I really think Cruz and Twilight, when we remember yesterday, when they went up against U5, if, you know, Nia is always that, you know, party setter, the one that actually ends the entire party is Cruz. You expect a lot of these multi-frags, including Twilight, who was the MVP in one of the maps on that BO3. And I feel like these two combination, especially after the swap, could be deadly against Full Sense. They gotta watch out for them.
All right. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, bunch of smokes or bunch of stars being already put out by Cruz. Twilight gets spotted by the recon dart, maybe as a ruse, or you know, just wanted to break it as quickly as possible. Foxy now making his way towards market here, just making a bit of a slow approach. Look at how close Potter is. Yeah, they're just gonna make sure that no one's going to be at the close corners, especially with that recon drone being used. Nice little setup here for Fancy United, and Full Sense could be in trouble. Nia already gets the first pick onto Leviathan. 2 players for Fancy, or 2 players from Full Sense now trying to deal with Nia as he does fall down. Foxy's very quick to go for that retrade. 4 players still remaining. It's only John Olsen all the way through B. Had to climb his way through the A site. Only has a classic, and he's going to get dealt with by Twilight very quickly.
While it was an eagle for Full Sense, I really need to praise Fancy for their aiming control. I think even on defense or on attacking side, they really know how to deny that, you know, that pincer from both sides, you know. They got the gravity well onto elbow. They have the fault line as well to deal with Link. So honestly, they have a set amount of plays to deal with this. But it's a 4-stack on A. I'm not sure if that's gonna work out this time.
Well, again, it's the difference of just having that sentinel for you. Nia, if he gets a little bit too aggressive here, could get caught out. Potter pushing through. That actually gets a nice little pinch between the 2 of them, and they get a couple of kills right now. The push just keep getting pressed on by Full Sense, and they're going to be able to get themselves around. So it looks like the question has been answered. 4-stack on A works pretty good for Full Sense here.
Good read, good expectation that they're going to be stacking up again on this part of the map, and Potter being that first contact really made value off of his life. They were able to dodge a lot of the key initial utility for them to really retaliate and fight back. It was a bit expensive, but it doesn't matter because at least they're able to still really win that one out.
This is where now we look at the scoreboard real quick, or the kill counters, right? Nia is at 17 compared to Potter that has only the 8. He hasn't been really getting the, I think that the first contact value that he's kind of hoping for. That being said, though, the follow through from Full Sense, pretty damn good. Potter now does show himself. Immediately destroys the Owl drone, but Fancy United, a bunch of their players now hovering towards this top mid. Nia, a little bit in trouble right now, can't really get through anything. Somehow manages to break some time here for his teammates. Works out in his favor. Alert, challenging 3 players right now. Fancy United. John Olsen's back to the site. He's got to win some fights here, but can't really do anything against Cruz. Everything deactivates for the Cypher. As now Leviathan's timing could get spotted out, and it does. Well, leaving it to the hands of Potter. 3 versus 1. Man has not gotten some big highlights, and he has to go big right now.
Especially the pressure is building. Does he check?
Ooh, no, he doesn't. Yeah, he's going to follow Foxy, and that's going to be Fancy United keeping it tight. 8-8.
This is really close. This is very similar to what happened with Zol Esports. Not the Ascent one. That one's a big dominating finish for them. But I feel like Sunset, both of these teams are just very masterful. And I feel like that's the reason why we're looking at such an even matchup, despite the big favorites for Full Sense to win this 2-0. Now the pressure is building because, again, you really want to get into stage 3.
Yeah.
And Fancy United has been really picking up the pace. No, not even just at A. They've been trying a lot of creative things even in mid.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think it's just the element of like how both teams do play, right? It's that very hyper proactiveness that we see them. Maybe not on the same players or the same agents, but you do see something similar to that. Potter, you see the reaction from Nia there.
Yeah.
And Twilight actually gets caught. He's been isolated right now. Now they know what's up. Something is definitely undergoing right now for Fancy United. They want to go for the push here. No tripwires. They do get a catch. Aftershock is just blasting, and Nia's down to 12. Can he actually escape? Flash goes through. Sushi Boy's not yet pushing. Potter wants to get the kill. This box giving Nia a little bit of leeway, a little bit of space. And he can't really control the pace of that spray of him to get the kills. They want to be safe, so they use the ultimate here, the Rolling Thunder, to create that space and a breathing room. Some bit of breathing time for Fancy as they position themselves for the post plant.
Let's see, there is a scan alert available, but it is a stack onto B main, so they really have to push. They're forced to go through this.
Ooh. They do have smokes at least for Leviathan in, I don't know, maybe like 10 seconds. Again, smoke's dissipating as well. Stun comes through. They are just again going for as much delay as possible, and Cruz has been on it today. Look at the aims. Man is just absolutely cracked. And this is allowing Fancy to really just again win these tight engagements.
Yeah, I think they're I really was worried for Nia. I think he was already like one bullet away from dying because he's been tagged by multiple utilities on the site, but it was just so value. Now he has overdrive, able to take down one before he has fallen. And honestly, I feel like every site looks really good for Fancy. Full Sense need to shut them down because their post plant is just really good.
Okay, Nia's slowly creeping up right now in mid. Market door has been closed already. I wonder if he wants to go for that aggressive push on mid. You do see the positioning of Foxy as he is creeping up with the Neon here. So they might want that heat, but they back away. Alert's going to be using the drone right now to see if something is up on mid, and I don't think he's going to find anything. At most, it's just going to be yes, I can. And information not too clear for Full Sense, so they're still keeping a couple of players on top mid just to see what's up.
I'm actually surprised Yes I Can is actually playing the Lurk now. I think that's the first. I don't think he has played the Lurk even yesterday, so this will be definitely the first. He has to deal with the crossfire though.
Okay, tries to run away. Gets back into safety. And now the rest of Fancy United. Oh, this is just a little bit too late from Full Sense. Yeah, they called the rotation already from Leviathan just so that he's near on the A side. Ultimate's been utilized. Twilight right in front. If he pushes through this, is he gonna get hurt? Yes, he is. Coming around the corner. This is just perfect flank around him, and they don't even realize it. It's just done. Olsen is just by himself right now. Gets flash, and Twilight somehow manages to pick up 3 kills without anyone contesting him. Absolutely beautiful plays for Fancy.
He was a Sova, but he acted like an omen at that moment. He really pushed through the Razor Vine. Of course, that's gonna be a bit unexpected. You wouldn't expect somebody to push that very fast, so they were just looking at Ali. They were looking at different directions, and Twilight really took advantage of that Razor Vine being the one that really stops and acts as a barrier between the two teams. And back to Eco now for Full Sense. Now at this point, you're kind of like scratching your head. Fancy is already in the double digits. They've got key ultimates, Overdrive, and Hunter's Fury for this, and Nia gets first blood.
Wow.
This is Fancy just really showing up on Sunset.
I think Full Sense are starting to crumble as well in their mental here. They're trying to be a lot more aggressive as well with the positioning, but because of that, it's actually backfiring as they're getting caught by Nia, who's just again in that state of mind that he's about to get all of these kills for himself. It is not looking too good for Full Sense whatsoever. Stun coming in only really delays Twilight, and this is a great information gathered for Fancy. They know that the breach is going to be on the other side, so they can just march their way here on the other end. Yeah, that tripwire's done. Yeah, nothing's going to catch Nia here.
Thinking of jumping up. going down, but Nia on Boba
Heads up.
finds a head.
Wow. Nia's just insane at this point. Goes in for the push, catches Juicy Boys. I don't know. He's looking for the ace already. Give it to him. Potter is here on Boba. Nice little sip and a drink. Could be done. Cruz. Oh, yes I can. He's giving it. He wants to create some space. Get the kill. And Nia through the wall gets the headshot, and Potter is down. Ace for Fancy United. 11-8. And they are having fun in this game.
Oh yeah, I bet. Usually, you know, in tournaments, you want to take the kill. It's fine to get a 4K as long as you secure it. But you know they're in a point mentally that they can do that. Okay, I'm just gonna hide. Nia, you go for the peek onto market. It's totally fine. And now Fancy 1 point away from match point, and the fact that they didn't even need Overdrive and Hunter's Fury. There's a lot in the bank to use this round to secure that, or maybe even save it for that 13 score.
Oh, this is brutal. Fancy United. They've even got... This is the first round where we're going to be seeing Potter actually bring out the operator as well. They're getting desperate here. I don't know how much impact he can make at this point, at least in this game, with the sniper, but it does at least allow them to not need to play with Potter as often, and they needed to act, and they had to at least put him on B main so that he only has that one avenue to watch out for, you know, not including A. And it spreads out the rest of the defense for Full Sense for at least, I guess, better control on the map. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and I really like how you mentioned, you know, Potter for the first time getting a little desperate, but no one's there. No one's coming into his angle. And there's 50 seconds on the clock, more or less. They really want to push for this elbow into A.
Great catch. John Olsen's just done for. Twilight pushing in, clearing up the rest on connector, and that's just going to be that. Even uses the Hunter's Fury just so that he can create some space here, force them back, because they have everything right now that they need, really. Now, Razorvine being used into the corner stops him from actually pushing through, and this is where the Vice really comes into play. It just stops them. They push it out in the open, and Fancy United, this is where they want to fight them. This is where they win the gunfights, and now they're at match point here on map 1.
It's just crazy stuff. Like, Fancy just completely activated, especially when they went the double digits. It felt like a very different Fancy. They were more comfortable, confident. You can see it in their player cams as well, and how they're so in the zone. And honestly, when we look back at the player cams for Full Sense on their first timeout, it was even. It wasn't even Fancy being in the lead, but they already looked a bit stressed because I think Full Sense really expected this to go their way in a much more dominating fashion. But that's not happening at the moment, and now their backs are against the wall.
Yeah, now they're going to be, again, so just diminished in what resources they actually have. 4 rounds to push into overtime, the last time out that they need right now. And again, you have to remember, this is the map that Full Sense picked up, right? This is the map that we knew that they play as good as they can, and it is not going, or rather, it is not going their way. And it is just boggling me at this point.
Yeah, they left it out in the open. They knew that Sunset was played by Fancy twice, and they did really well. That means they really banked on, you know, their experiences, their win streak that they've had in this tournament as well. That could possibly end. This could be their very first map loss in stage 2. We'll have to see. Yeah,
not even map loss. Could be the start as well of them just not being able to reach stage 3 as well, right? We've been talking about it for the start of this, the start of the broadcast. And this is potentially the last round. Okay, what do they have in their arsenal here for Full Sense? Sushi Boys has his Rolling Thunder. John Olsen available with the Neural Theft. Everything potentially is good here, but Fancy United, I think you can even see it in the map right now, just complete confidence in their positioning. Nia's just on top mid, wanting somebody to just peek him and see what happens.
And the thing is, they don't have Sushi Boys in there for the top mid fault line control. They have to give it up completely, and it's no control. It's gonna be an A main fight instead.
If he has a flash here, can he still help out Potter is the big question. Potter, oh no. Twilight's already right in front of him. This is about to peek through, and he tries to run away, but gets caught regardless. Ultimate gets used. Sushi Boy's trying to at least find something. Aftershock not gonna even find anything. That was just an ultimate to delay things. Has to go for the push because of the Aftershock right behind him, and he just falls down. Cruz gets the battle win, and that's gonna be Alert down in the dumps. Final player, and that's this way back when that was playing a lot of Yoru plays. And still, it will be continued here by Nia, which I am very excited to definitely see.
Yeah, it's not going to be just Nia this time around. That's going to create some chaos.
Yeah.
And alongside him is going to be Foxy. That has been a bit quiet, I suppose, in the previous map, but I think Foxy was able to match up against Fixie yesterday on a lot of these moments. So I do think Foxy really has it in him to really overwhelm. Now Potter has to go up against 2 duelists, I suppose.
That's true. Lots of control that you need, but lots of mobility as well because of the teleports that, you know, that the Yoru does have. Fancy United did lose, I believe, to Mongols quite heavily on Haven, but that's Mongols right now. They're on the hot streak here on Challengers. I don't think that any team can really match up to them continuously, but we'll have to see how this goes as Full Sense try to make some plays through Garage, but without the control on C-Long, it might be a bit too much of a pinch, and I think they realize this as well. Because you saw that John Olsen was not able to clear any of that, they just back it away. And they'll just leave Alert to play as that Alert play on mid that could at least rotate from B to connector to A as a flank.
Yeah, especially the tripwires are designated onto A to prevent any sort of rush, but we'll see.
Yeah. There's a tripwire there. Oh.
Yep.
Great catch from Yes I Can. Good damage, though, as well. Look at how low Potter is already. Alert. If his timing is good here, he could at least even the numbers or make it a little bit better for them. Let's get the first catch. No, not even big damage onto Cruz. Unfortunate for him. And if he goes back into spawn, you're already looking at Nia. There's a ping already where Nia is. And there's going to be a battle between the two of them. Going to get the catch. He does. Somehow, Full Sense. They're getting some pretty dang good trades here. Paranoia hits Yes I Can. That's going to delay him. HP advantage is on Yes I Can here. He has to jump the other way. Doesn't take the fall damage. Comes around the corner. I don't think he knows his opponent is all the way through spawn. Noise done here by Leviathan. Gets caught out. Yes I Can. Sharp. And his Alert even sharper. 3 bullets. Alert's just going for it. And he delays it. He denies it. And that's going to be Full Sense with the pistol round.
I really thought it was going to be some Sunset flashbacks where there was an opportune moment to get a kill on mid. As, you know, Alert couldn't get a kill onto Cruz. And I believe it was Yes I Can trying to rotate to Link. But at the end of the day, it was just that kill on Nia that really helped destroy that potential flank, and every single thing is pretty much front to back. All they had to worry about is Heaven and Link.
Okay, Full Sense. Looks like they might want to just charge it up there. Ooh. Okay, that headshot was kind of nasty. Good thing he had, you know, enough HP to tank it. Now they see the pinch coming in from Fancy United. That is potentially the signal to not go C or wait for the smoke, then go C again. But we have to see. Lots of C's.
That's what I was about to say. Don't worry. I see from my eyes right now that there is going to be a potential kill. Yes, I can, on a very cheeky angle. I do feel like maybe they don't really get the sense to try and check this unless they're really full alert, you know.
Sure. For sure, right? But I mean, no way they don't get the... No way they don't check it.
Yeah.
It's a very typical angle, unless they're hard-pressed for anything. Yeah. So, oh, Potter. All right, he wants something. A pistol does not allow him to do anything, at least. This is very good damage. This is very good economic damage.
Yeah.
Foxy could actually even win this, honestly.
True. He has a flash.
Yeah, but he gets flash first. That's going to be enough, though. But look at the damage done. Full Sense is grasping at straws with how many players left remaining, with how much HP those players had remaining as well.
Yeah, that dink of John Olsen really so in such low health. They're only able to deliver a Guardian and a Spectre carrying over to the next round, so they have to deal with the full force of Fancy's buy round. And let's see here. It hasn't been working out so far for Fancy. I feel like every single time they try to do something interesting flanking, Full Sense really has the better alert system, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a pretty apt description of what Fancy has been trying to do. Okay, the setup for Full Sense is just setting it straight into the B site. Potter, gotta love the Bucky, you know, such a very strong weapon right now for the Neon. It's so cheap in the sense that because you can just do this, and for 800 creds, this is crazy bonkers. Anyways, Spike's already been planted, right? There's Yes I Can, Cruz, and Fox are remaining here. The cream is slowly up into the site, but you'd expect that there is that post-plant plan for Full Sense. Maybe a stun, an aftershock. There it is. Now they know no one's there. This is the real one. Drone just to make sure. Cruz can't break tripwire, so he can't really push up. And Foxy just goes in and gets offered up to Full Sense. This is the Full Sense that we were kind of just expecting. So many layers upon layers. This is the Shrek plan for Full Sense.
Stealing lunch money.
Hey now. That's right. Yeah, that's true. Full Sense. This is exactly what we were expecting from them. You know, having to just replicate their performance from Ascent when they went up against Esports. And I feel like it's really nice to see that they got their confidence back, they got their rhythm back on their end. And even though it was so expensive, they're still able to pull it off, get to keep a bunch of weapons. Actually, fully upgraded into Vandals here.
Yeah, and this will just make things a lot difficult. Okay. Intentional getting tagged by the recon dart. And you can already see Nia booking it to the B site. Foxy's by himself here. I don't think he has... Oh, wait, there he goes. He has one teleport that brings him back underneath on hell here. Will he still have it available? I think he does. And he actually gets a kill. This is incredible. Foxy's such a shot, even with the Sheriff. All of that mobility from Potter are just not... It's still not enough.
And there's a heavy weight on Potter right now, right? Sunset didn't pan out for him too well. Hopefully he's able to redeem himself at the moment. This could be the test.
Oh, Paranoia has just been so on point from Cruz here.
I'm out of here.
Is able to stop them dead in their tracks. Sure, there's the push coming out from Full Sense right now, but there's positioning that could make it work for Fancy United here. They say that. They still were able to bully through. That's going to be great.
30 seconds
3 versus
left.
1. Foxy United. Foxy. Well, it's not Fancy United. Foxy by himself. United to try to beat these 3 players with a Sheriff, but he's not going to catch John Olsen just tucking himself in the corner, and that's going to be that. Full Sense still getting the rounds continuously.
There's so many instances, 4 rounds in a row, where a lot of the Full Sense members are either dinked or half HP. They're really, really weak on HP, and for some reason, it's just not enough. And maybe because a lot of these rounds came from, a bunch of ecos from Fancy, maybe some broken buys. But Full Sense have been taking advantage of a lot of these rounds, despite them sometimes they're the ones on eco. And now it's their turn. They've got a lot of really key ults, but it's a stack on A for Fancy.
Okay, that's stun. Immediate TP. Great kill right now for Sushi Boys. Nia holding the fort for the moment. Does he have a flash to at least push out aggressively here? I think you can see the positioning from Boxy. He wants to play the alley-oop if possible.
I know exactly where you
but the Neural Theft coming out from John Olsen is going to be exposing them. The push out. The challenge is a lot on A main right now. And Nia, he's going to have to hold down this angle by himself. Unable to do so. Potter just jumping around, making it difficult for Cruz to find any form of kills whatsoever. And Twilight is spotted, caught, can't really push anything through spawn. And they've just been peppering shots, even just the tripwire here just to stop him, and that has to be the save.
Yeah, Fancy has been losing a lot of their buy rounds, and it's just one expensive one after another, and they're unable to even deal a dent. You see a lot of damaged HPs. Maybe he might not even be able to save because Potter's right here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Nice.
Twilight holding it strong. Okay, he's got some positioning. He's got some motions. Does not get hit by the fault line. Will get spotted by Alert, though, and that's going to be a wrap for this round. 5-0 for Full Sense.
I can't believe that they didn't even need to use Rolling Thunder. Everything. They just have so much surplus. And a very understandable timeout. 5-0 start for Full Sense. And we're seeing now... Okay, Potter, it doesn't seem like it on the KDA. But Potter's presence has been enough. He has been the living bait. Like, he would always go in, jump around, reveal somebody else's position because they want to shoot him, but he's not going to die. And then the rest of the team right behind him is ready to follow up with his entry. So again, it may not seem that way, but I think he's doing just a lot of work already. His presence is so impactful, and I feel like that's why Fancy really needs this timeout.
They have to slow the pace down, right? Because aside from the things that you mentioned with Potter as well, on the side of Fancy United, you also kind of realize how they're transitioning their aggression from Sunset here on Haven, but it's not translating well, right? You'd see them go aggressively push on Sunset on mid, and it'll actually get some value because Nia's just insane. He has a lot of, you know, room to kind of run around on. But when there's some tight corridors here on Haven, such as that A-Long and C-Long, how can you really push through that, right? There was a play where John Olsen threw out the Neural Theft, and you saw both Nia and Foxy trying to make a play onto A-Long. I think they were trying to read that Full Sense was already pushing with the Neural Theft and whatnot, but they got baited out and they got caught because Full Sense was just waiting for them. So Full Sense have been really good at reading the aggression and turning it against Fancy United.
It just really shows that even though Fancy had an amazing A control on Sunset, doesn't really translate it too well, even though they can apply the similar concept onto A-Long. They're just so ready, in a sense.
There it is again. Oh, I love the setup if they can make it happen. Unfortunately, no. There it is again. It's just a waiting game for Full Sense here. They get the kills, and it's just backfire against Fancy. Could not really go for the push. Shock Dart for a bit of information and maybe damage. The push out from Yes I Can, and I think they're just done with this round. They just want to have weapons in the next one. And this is just Full Sense, full swing all the time.
Yeah, and the thing is, Full Sense doesn't even have to invest too much. They're just lying and waiting for the perfect timing, and then Fancy is just going to try and push aggressively. The pressure feels like it's on Fancy being on the attack instead, and Full Sense just really has to wait. They've got the perfect aim for it as well in this map, and it's going to be another buy round, so it's going to be a bit concerning if Fancy doesn't break Full Sense's momentum here and now.
That's absolutely true. I mean, having 6 straight rounds in a row, this is the numbers game, right? You just do not want to play that that situation. Twilight's by himself. He's about to go for Jiggle Peek. Okay, at least he doesn't, you know, get a kill through the tripwire. Potter just goes in for the slide and kill. Gotta love to see that. And this is gonna be a, well, the site already taken by Full Sense. John Olsen, though. Spotted. Okay, tries to run around. I wonder if he... No way he gets a kill, right? There he goes. Gets dealt with crucially. That's going to put us to the 4-4. Foxy uses the ultimate already. Dimensional Drift. Tries to get a pick if he can. Unfortunately, he's just making it as much nuisance as he possibly could. Nia finds a pick onto Potter, which is huge. Does try to at least bamboozle the rest of Full Sense. Not going to work out. And there was an ultimate used by Sushi Boys to delay things. Smoke is already dissipated. There's the fault line. Counter on the ultimate, and that stops the defuse. It's all down to Cruz. He's been good with it, but this is just too much heat to handle. And Full Sense gets another.
That felt like that was going to be it. It was a 1-for-1 trade at the very beginning. 4-man retake. It was already half, but then the ultimates just came flooding in. Multiple frags from the side of Full Sense from long. All they got to do, just watch that open plant and call it a day. And now Fancy, all from that timeout 2 rounds ago, doesn't really convert too much. And now they're stuck with a bunch of sheriffs again and just a measly Guardian.
Yeah, I mean, if you probably look at the economy, you know, stats later for Fancy, if this keeps continuing, this will just be absolutely atrocious. He gets the first contact there. Nice little TP. He actually hits the stun. That's insane. Potter, this is just going everywhere. All right, dust settles.
Wow.
And Fancy, Nia can still get those conversions. That's insane. Now tries to pop shot a couple of swings. See if he can get a trade. Sushi Boy's stuck out in the open right now. Can't pick up the spike whatsoever. Leviathan does have the ultimate, so if he can get a kill right now, onto Cruz, onto someone on this A site, he can't play that from the shadows to pick it up. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge if he can. It's the first contact. There's one more right in front of him. Now, if he can isolate these fights, it's going to be good. Nia's alone by himself right now. They don't know he's there, but he has to still be cautious. Playing around A-Long, spots it out, gets the kill. Now, that's going to be the 2 versus 1. Leviathan has created this opening. Time to spike. And now, Sushi Boy, he plays the wait game, and he reads Twilight like a buck. You know, it's a 3 saga thing, but it just gets ended quickly here. I don't know, I pushed it way too much.
You're good. I was imagining a 3-part saga, but it's just 1 page each. Is how I imagined the story for that round, because it just went by so quickly. Maybe there was just a slow-paced side in the middle. That chair looks like a nacho. Do you see that?
Yeah.
A little distracted.
But, you know, it's not Joe chair, so you know, don't do anything with it.
That's true. I can't sit on that. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Bad puns aside, this is not even pretty, just a damn good start for Full Sense. Trying to go for the push if they can. Great catches by Fancy, just having that crossfire, and I kind of jinxed it with the caster curse as they tried to set up on the B site, but somehow they just caught Full Sense setting up, getting the kills, and just stopping them there in their tracks. Great counter round for Fancy.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. So you come from garage, you just flood in from the rest of B, and you just kind of catch Full Sense, where they're not even ready. Usually they are able to enter a certain area without contest whatsoever. And I feel like beating them to the punch like this, making them make the first move, is I think Fancy's access to be more reactive instead of them trying to make something happen.
Well, it was one of those plays that was more, you know, suited, or counterplays that was more suited for things like that if that was happening on the B site. So, I mean, how many times is that going to happen for Fancy, right? So they have to have some other things working up now that they've got themselves a bit of tempo play. That one round could set up something different right now against Full Sense. Look at the positioning for Nia. He's only just stopped by that tripwire, but he's so pushed up into spawn. It wasn't that Cypher, man. He'd already be in the backs of Full Sense, going for that backstab if possible.
There's so many layers. There's the one by window as well. And there's this far lurk from Alert.
Right here.
So even if Nia wants to make something happen, but at least she's there to catch or rotate just in case. Ooh.
Okay, got spotted one on sewer.
They found my wire.
37 seconds remaining, right? Is this going to be the commit, or are they going to back away? We'll have to see here. They want to push through this. They haven't cleared any utility whatsoever. This could be a catch. Cotter is just dead in the water as the tripwire just catches him. Back to the site. Still haven't really dealt with the tripwire here. Twilight's by himself. They dealt the damage, and he is overwhelmed. Nia stopped by the smoke. Neural Theft gives away his positioning. And it's a 3 versus 1. Now he can charge into this fight, which is going to be a difficult thing to do, but where Full Sense are, he could find some isolated fights here if he just dashes right on through. But the problem is, there's just so much stopping power here at spawn already. Has to use the high fast lane, goes immediately, and I like the idea. He knew he could isolate a fight there, but Full Sense just kind of doubled up and caught him.
Get me in the
Yeah, I
line
feel
of
like
fire.
there are 2 choices, right? You fast lane actually towards maybe sewers. You try to eliminate the player by that area first. Maybe there might be a crossfire from that default plan onto Hell, but he wanted to isolate the ones on the other side first. But there were 2 players already waiting. Honestly, it's a very classic Valorant 50-50 moment, but Nia tried his best. It was just so far away. Full Sense just really went ham, despite the utility being so invested on A.
Man, how is Fancy going to recover from this? Full Sense is just, again, firing at all cylinders right now. Fancy's just, again, caught rocking a hard place, and they wiggle themselves free. Is the question. Nia's been pretty good with the Sheriff, but having him on the Sheriff almost every single round is just not beneficial for the Fancy team. And we still see the same formula here, Riku. Full sense. Just playing that waiting game for the moment. Fancy. I think Foxy has a teleport, or else he might have been actually caught.
Yeah, there's too many players near spawn by the... Looking at garage as well. Still a very silent start. I feel like this has been now the style that they've been doing to keep Fancy on their toes. No? They're at A?
They can? Okay.
Right here.
Paranoia could be set up, but yes, your shock and awe is definitely merited because we're talking about A and everything, but C is actually where the play is going to be going to.
30
Nobody's
seconds
home,
left.
and this is going to be a plant. Everybody on Fancy is on that A site, and they're not going to know about this. If they drop and start rotating, Potter's still here playing for that flank. He can just run away from this one, and he'll probably still be faster on rotating than the other rest of the team because he's Neon.
The one time that Nia wasn't on the C long.
Watch out. Go, go,
The
go.
one time.
Okay, couple of picks here and there.
One enemy.
Potter's joining in onto the fight,
Flawless.
and yeah, this is just not looking too hot at all for them. We're reaching
Last round.
last
in the
round
half.
for the first half, and it's still 1-10. Fancy United, no answers. Still, as we are reaching the halftime.
Full sense. You know, they're really utilizing Potter. Again, looking at him. 6, 9, and 5. Totally fine. Because I feel like not only he's being the grand micro bait, he's also doing some macro baits. Okay, I'm in A. Guess what? The rest are on C. Nia, not trying to plant a flank like earlier. That's the reason why they weren't able to spot that big rotate onto C. So let's see now
Ooh,
if they're going to push forward with this.
they are pushing forward with this. They actually want to go for the kill here.
yeah.
Ultimate's being used by Fancy United to shock it up, potentially. But full sense,
Careful here.
looking at the damage, it's just, well, not too bad. Bit of chip damage on Alert and Sushi Boys, but again, not the kills that they were kind of hoping for with how much resources they've really spent up into this.
Yeah. We have a broken by John Olsen with the operator as well. There's so much surplus of money that they can just swap. Oh, the op and the Vandal
Standing
don't
ahead.
bump into each other now.
Yeah, there was a push there that could have been fatal. Unfortunately, it wasn't. I think that was more of a play to start allowing Fancy to start backing away. Potter just holding, and yes, I can, decapitated there. Only Foxy here onto the site. He does have a nice little corner for himself, but he hasn't found any kills just yet. There we go. First kill into the motion. Flash coming
30
through, but John
seconds
Olsen
left.
catches him on the corner. Potter coming in as well. Wants to go for the push. Does not find anything. Leviathan teleports for a little bit of information.
There.
Now they know. Crew's somewhere here on spawn. Where is Nia is the question. Ultimate being used. Teleports. Does not want to push through.
One
Nia.
enemy remaining.
Bam. Gets
Dead.
smoked by Leviathan, and this is all just in the hands of Cruz. 4-1.
This is so hard. Every single angle is focused on the center. All eyes on the prize. And what's your access here, Cruz?
Oh man. What happens right now?
End of
Oh.
story.
Bro was just tracking him through the
No.
minimap, I think.
Yeah.
Switching sides.
Lee in a commanding lead here. Couple more, and then we'll be able to get ourselves into map 3. Leviathan sees the whole enchilada here for Fancy. TP come through. He actually finds the real Yoru and gets the catch right now. Goes to reposition. Yes, I can, and the rest of Fancy United coming into the site. Is it too late, though?
remaining.
It's a little bit too
Spike down.
brutal, or at least too rough on how they push onto the site. He's a little bit trapped right now. Can't really do anything as the Aftershock forces him out of Cubby, and that's going to be that. Full sense. One more round, and we go to map number 3.
What a
Match
start
point.
of this pistol round. And just as you said, yeah, it will go to Abyss. I feel like it is going to be that forced buy from Fancy for sure on the next round, but it's just so good. Like the way that they just came running from backside, from garage. Again, a lot of huge plays from Leviathan and John Olsen there at the very end.
Yeah.
That goes there.
Yeah,
this is a
Spectre,
nice spot.
Stingers, Bucky. Let's see how Fancy do, rather.
Yeah, and this is such a difficult position to be in for Fancy, right? You don't have one more round to potentially buy weapons, or
Yeah.
potentially save up money so you can buy better weapons. Now you have to at least go through this with weaker stuff and everything. Nia's just charging in, hoping that he can find something of substance, but it's not going to work out. Now it's just left into Yes I Can and the other 3 players of Fancy United stuck outside in the open. John Olsen holding an angle right now as his teammate right above him, Sushi Boys, is making some noise. Wants to go push through on doorway here. A flash could be something that, as the rest of Full Sense is actually also pushing outside of B. This is leaving so little space for Fancy United. And look, you can already smell, again, blood in the water. Potential big flank here. Leviathan spots both of them out. One tap, the other one as well. He's whipping a little bit here, which gives Cruz a little bit of leeway, but that's just going to be that. Full Sense with a fury, with a vengeance, 13-1 as they clean up map number 2. 3 between Fancy United Esports and Full Sense is about to go underway.
This is going to be tricky. You've got Full Sense, on the other hand, able to recover from their loss on Sunset and start things off in this map number 3 with a dominating. I feel like dominating might not even be the proper word for it, as Full Sense really destroyed Fancy 13-1. Fancy, hopefully they're able to get that reset. And perhaps B, because A, they had a hard time against U5 when they would try to execute that. Mid might be their best shot here as well for first blood potential.
Ooh. First contact is going to be close. Is any of them prepared? Okay. Potter was able to actually sneak his way up to the corner here. They might not know about his nice little oasis in the middle of Abyss. See how this goes. I'm building up the ante here, but no one's actually peeking whichever one. So this is just a game of patience for both of them. And Nia, he's gonna spot one, but yeah, again, he does not know that Potter is tucked in his corner. This could be something big for him.
No charges left.
Yeah, they decide to abandon that, and maybe they might catch off Cruz if he wants to cross and join his team. Good thing there is a double controller with that. Oh, he's actually very alert.
Catches the one already. There you go. Spots him out. And
Dink.
the dink is actually good. That's going to force him out. And they don't know it's going to be the A up until it's too late already, which is going to be that. Leviathan is going to be holding the site, though. No plants on the spike just yet. Great tags from Fancy here. Leviathan's down to
30 seconds left.
very critical HP. Tries to maybe stop the plant. Yes, I can. Making so much impact. That leaves alert, drops right down, and gets caught by Fancy United. What a stellar round for Fancy.
You know what? I take it back from earlier. You know what I said? You know what? Fancy's gonna keep attacking B. Maybe their A is not as good as their B executes, but I take that back. Cruz being the one staying behind, lurking, checking out the rotates, a possible flank was just really huge. Yes, I can. On the mid rounds, the hold on to that spike was so good with that triple kill as well. His Vice was amazing, but I feel like this Harbor on Abyss can be truly monstrous if allowed to.
No, for sure, right? Okay. I do like the creativity of the Harbor here. The walls, so good. Look at that just chip, or look at that cut on mid that he just made. This just cuts so much information for Full Sense. They have to wait patiently for it to drop down, and by that point, do they even know what's going on, right?
Watching here.
I feel like they may have an inkling. They know that Fancy loves their mid duels. Unable to find a pick though. At least they've gotten information. Still not deciding where the spike's gonna go, but the rotates are happening from Full Sense. Kind of saying, okay, maybe it's gonna be a B this time, but nope. A is the plan.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be the 50-50 on where Full Sense will try to just bunker down, right, on their defense, because they just have very little information on what's on. They're probably just banking on the fact that maybe this camera is going to help them out, and that's why they go here. But because of that, this opens up so much avenues for Fancy United. This is just going to be a plant straight for them.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, no sweat. This is just going to be a done and dusted round. And I don't know how much utility and how close Full Sense will get into the site, but it might be difficult for him. Oh, Cruz, again, on that place, on that position. Yeah, and this is gonna burn a lot of time. They're just they're
They
chasing
try to hunt
him
him
down.
down.
Where is he? He actually gets kills. This is nuts. He gets more kills. Cruz, you mad lad. He's just working them. He's on a pistol, they're on a pistol, but he's just better. Just built different.
Yeah, Cruz repositioning, just so ready for these headshots. And Fancy, oh sorry, Fancy is doing so well at these initial rounds, and it's really nice to see after again
Player standing.
the defeat that they've experienced from Haven. It's so nice to watch, and it really just shows the respect of Full Sense on mid, most especially. I really like how Cruz is almost as if he's playing an Astra, just playing far back, but
Yeah.
he's an Omen. He's pretty slippery if he wants to be.
True, because again, he can just kind of go through a lot of the line of sights and setups, right? You're supposedly able to catch someone making a cross, but because he has a shrouded step, that just allows him to bypass that danger. And I think this is working well for Fancy United. That lurk on Cruz is making them Full Sense honest because of that. It's just making it difficult for them to really have a read on what Fancy United kind of wants to do.
Yeah, 100%. It's almost as if, you know, Abyss is pretty big. So now, oh, good Sushi Boys able to get that first blood. But now they always feel like they need to be a bit paranoid. Always think, well, where Cruz is going to be lurking this time. They've got a second controller. That's why Cruz can afford to be practically everywhere for the team.
So that push out for Full Sense does get them that first blood, like you mentioned. Twilight being gone is big. Leviathan, okay, he did realize as well. Catches them just on the side. Sushi Boys waiting for Yes I Can to break the door here. Maybe get a catch on the pinch happening, because right now, numbers on that A site is really favoring Fancy. They have like 4 players about to pinch in. It's only 2 for them. Sushi Boys does get opened up. Yes I Can. Perfect timing on the pinch. Now it's just to Leviathan. Doesn't get the catch onto Nia, which is good. He did throw his paranoia already just to get a catch off. Thankfully, Alert was there to help him out. Cruz shuts one more down. Slow peek, and he should be able to win this fight. Teammate trying to plant the spike just to at least get them close to the territory. But timing, no way. Ooh, that was close. Foxy could have popped the head there. Cruz by himself. Outlaw clutch, maybe? Oh, it's happening. One more kill. Gets to the 1v1, but there's just too much health to chew through on Potter, and that's going to be Full Sense. A point on the board.
Very expensive round, despite the win. Good damage from the side of Fancy to take out a lot of the Vandals to the next. And they're able to plant the spike, so that's a big bonus for the team. And again, it does feel like at any side, they have already such a clear point of strategy for them to enter A. They're not afraid to play for time, and despite Sushi Boys getting that first blood, I think it's still cutting it too close. It could have been a clutch from Cruz at the very end, but let's see now. We haven't seen the B hit just yet. The pattern seems to be, let's check out mid, see if we get a pick, and then decide right after where to go. It has been a good formula for Fancy, and I wouldn't really see this stopping even when they go to the second half.
Yeah, because I feel like there's a bit of trouble if you try to go for that typical B-side push. But, well, typical doesn't have to be how they go about it. The only problem is, as the wall drops, I do like the idea for Fancy there. They wanted to go for the B site. Fortunately, this is too good of a hold for Alert, and he gets 2 kills. Now, there's going to be a frag back by Cruz as he does get the kill onto Leviathan. But there's still 2 players right now of Full Sense holding this A site. So the spread for Fancy is keeping Full Sense honest, but they do have the better numbers. Now, to say that Cruz is just a magic man, nice little flash, but that's only a flash so that Sushi Boys can back away into a better position, fall back. Oh.
Exactly. Oh, no way.
Wow. Twilight is fearless.
I know, like having to play around the smoke. Now they've got 2 controllers holding down the side.
1 enemy remaining. 30 seconds left.
Okay, this is
Spike planted.
okay. Quick little dash. See what pops up on the minimap just for that bit of information. Potter, so much work to deal with here. I can't even use his opponent's smoke against them. He's just gonna try to force them to go for the peek as gets the one. Can't even. The dance of death, and that's going to be pottered down. Fancy United picks it back up again.
Double swing is how you secure the round from Fancy. And again, these A hits have been so effective. The fact that they didn't even get first blood. It was Alert taking down 2 members from Fancy right off the bat. It's the rotates again. Actually, it's the rotates this time coming from Fancy that's really proving things to be really effective. They didn't see that Twilight climbing onto tower, and I think that really hurt their defense earlier.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because it left them without their initiator, so the amount of information that they had for post-plant was a lot more limited, right? So in any case, it's just going to hurt Full Sense to lose players like that bit by bit when they really didn't need to. In any case, same setup for Fancy. Wall immediately put up on mid just for a bit of that kind of information. And again, Full Sense left kind of scratching their heads. What's up? What's happening in this game?
Yeah, they can't really play aggressively. There's always somebody spotting, you know, the possible flank. Exhibit A, they've got Twilight right there. But now they're going for a B hit this time.
Yeah, now this is what you were looking for, right?
Yep.
Nia gets the first pick already, gets the catch, up in the open. This is just perfect for Fancy United. The Harbor is just giving that second layer of options, especially for Nia. The ability of that High Tide or the Cascade to just cut off certain positions is just huge. You know, slow approach,
Enemy remaining.
takes it aside, and Nia's just locked on, locked in, loaded, and Fancy United, they're just brushing things off. It's like Haven never happened.
Yeah, it's like it didn't happen. I mean, it was so fast to even sort of recover from that, but I think Fancy just really, just as you said, brushed it off. It didn't really hurt them. They just really stuck to their initial plan on Abyss. That's the thing. It's still fresh from their minds, their performance against Unsigned 5. And they're even doing so well on their A executes. They had a hard time, but now every side is so good for Fancy.
Absolutely. Cruz now trying to make some noise. And this is perfect. He's making so much noise as possible on B because he can always just, again, use his ultimate to rotate the other way. No way he gets 2 kills here. Wow, the timing, the push out. And he still gets spotter through the cloud burst.
Neutralized.
Twilight just helps out. He's lurking on mid. This is just going horribly wrong for Full Sense. They can't even spot their opponents right now. There's just so many angles, and somehow Fancy United have all of them covered.
All right, that's definitely like a timeout angle for sure on the side of Full Sense.
Yeah.
You're right. It's like they are unsure on where to look, and it does feel like Fancy is going past so many defenses. The fact that Yes I Can is able to get away with this as well, like they were just trying to search for opportunities, but at the end of the day, Yes I Can is in such the perfect place as well, just clean slate. And now Full Sense, this look is very familiar. It's honestly the same look that we saw when it was in Sunset, where they're like, why don't we have the early lead? Why can't we shut the executes down? Why can't we play retake at all? They're trying to prevent the spike from going down, played a bit more far forward, even buying an operator. And so expensive. It just didn't convert into anything.
I think it goes back to what you mentioned with the Harbor, right? That High Tide is such a strong tool in the sense that because Full Sense can't take a more aggressive position, right, where they are, they're always just completely stuck on the site. And now this is where Fancy United can get creative. They start setting up multiple things simultaneously, and it's kind of put Full Sense in a position where they have to guess, they have to react, and they have to react in the state where it's actually effective, and it's not. So this just sucks if you're in the seat of Full Sense, right? There's just, again, this is the same thing. The same wall has been really messing with Full Sense's head.
Yeah, it's that mid tussle, and the fact is that I'm sure Full Sense have seen this before, And right now, there hasn't exactly been a solution. And the fact that a lot of these individual players from Fancy are doing so well in the 1v2 situations when they do default or wherever in the map.
Okay. Wave crashing. Just gotta love all of this. Yeah, all of this waterworks.
Yep.
There it is again. Twilight's been on it on this Outlaw. I don't think he's ever upgraded for the past couple of rounds right now.
That's true.
And this is just horrible because he's won with this Outlaw against people that had rifles and people that have pistols. So, yeah, way to get your money's worth. Potter's down to 20 as well. No heals whatsoever.
I think he specifically carried an Outlaw for a particular situation and then swapped back into a Vandal. That's how economically rich
left.
they are right now, Fancy.
John Olsen, Hail Mary position. Not sure if he was spotted from that dash. Fancy United just again ripping one through. Nia is just on it. His aim is insane. Reaction time is just so quick.
This is just attack, by the way. I think even more so on defense, they really kick it up a notch on Nia's aggressiveness. Right now, we're seeing a lot of amazing plays by Cruz. Yes, I can on Nia. I feel like that's gonna even catapult even more on defense later on. There's still a big question mark. Full Ascent, back on the operator. Potter, how do you transition this? How do you make this work? Pushing mid again.
Okay, he's now trying to get that value as close as he can. Oh boy, shots being popped his way. Does he have the steely mental to hold that position when so much pressure is being, again, forced in his direction? Drones being used already. They've really committed so much just to make sure this mid is locked and loaded for them. It's kind of good. They've also rotated John Olsen from B all the way to A. So the push is just at least going to get known. Cruz is slowly getting in here. Camera. Yep, there's all that information. Still no push to be had just yet. Waiting for the utilities to die down a little bit.
They baited so much.
Right
They've
here.
baited a couple of smokes already from Full Sense. Very quick on the trigger. They thought it was going to be a hit. Activated a lot of the cyber cage as well. And I feel like Fancy, utility-wise, got the best end of the deal.
Twilight gets a little
30
bit of
seconds
contact on
left.
mid as well. Dance. Sushi Boy is trying to run away to B site, and it's a mistake. It's a wrong read again. They saw the high tide, and they thought it was going to be that B site, but no, it's A. The slow creep up alert. He can drop down into the site, maybe get a kill, but there's just so many angles. If he pushes out, Nia's already back to spawn. If he pushes in, there's already Cruz right in front of his face. Where does he actually try to contest is the question right now. Nia, perfect flash, is it? Backs away. All right, he's smart. He's not wanting to lose that numbers advantage. His alert is down, starting to pop off. 2 kills already. Potter gets another one. It's all down into Foxy's hands, and somehow, some way, Full Sense wins with the gun duels.
Okay, they weren't able to clear a tower. That is the one thing that made things very difficult. There was a crossfire happening from CT. Full Sense really fully took advantage of this. Alert was there to get the multi-frags. And Fancy, even though they were trying their best to out-macro Full Sense in that instance, it was still not enough as, again, it wasn't fully clear for their win conditions to hold on to that spike.
Very true. Fancy United calling the timeout right now. And this isn't even a timeout of them just, you know, hard losing or anything. This is just a timeout to kind of slow down the pace. You know, you're starting to heat up just a bit too much and reset. This is one of those timeouts that you know you have the advantage, but you're at that point where you're just a little bit too excited about everything because you're getting too many round wins, right? So whoever called this knows that pacing. Maybe it's yes I can. I like the idea. And I've seen teams before that have not gotten that, have not done this timeout earlier and have lost even though they had like the biggest of leads.
Yep, it's like better use it to sort of stop this momentum. It's totally fine. You've got a good lead. Fancy knows what didn't work out in the previous round, and they can just better it on the next. Full sense, another operator. I don't think I've seen Potter. I think that's the third operator so far. We haven't really seen that
I will.
convert into a kill just yet. Yeah.
He hasn't been in a spot where it could actually work, you know? He's been always at mid, but he's trapped, doesn't want to get popped by the shots. Leviathan is just pushing it in. He does not, he wants this heat right now. He's trying to reposition. If he gets away, he's my god. Yeah, there it is. Leviathan. Ow! I mean, sure, he got the help of his teammate, but that's going to be that. Does get killed through the smoke, though. It's a bit of a big commitment. They do get Nia, which is huge, but they also lose 2 in the process, which I don't know if Full Sense were expecting or not, but I don't know. We'll see how this kind of goes, because this round is still far from over.
Yeah, they lost their controller too, so they want to slow the pace down on some of these sites. It's not going to be available unless they do null command, perhaps. Look at this, Potter really pushing a lot of these aggressive spaces. Do they expect this? That's the question.
Kate,
Okay, the camera at least gets that information. They're waiting a little bit just to break the recon darts, which is important.
They found my wire.
A tiny gap on the wall, and John Olsen, that
30
wall just
seconds
worked
left.
in the favor of Fancy United over John Olsen. That's unfortunate for him. Potter's flank,
Spike
not
planted.
sure if it got heard. Does get the first pick. Tries already to get into the site with the rest of his team as he tries to get another one.
enemy
Sees
remaining.
it, jumps out, hits the shot onto Yes I Can, and it's all down to Foxy. This is huge. Potter's some damage. Now Foxy has got to go for the clutch. Unfortunately, not going to happen. In Full Sense, they keep themselves with a few more rounds.
Sushi Boys got that high ground advantage, and Potter as well infiltrating the flanks of Fancy. Really ruined the hold of Fancy again after that post plant. So it was not a lot of space to work with, to be honest. And Leviathan, I think that first pick was super duper important. Taking off Nia out of the equation, which has been such a nuisance on some of these rounds for sure, on Abyss most especially. Now we see the value off of this operator.
It's good though, because again, this is what I felt like Full Sense was lacking. That ability to challenge Fancy United, even through the wall. I think they're getting a lot braver now. Anyways, Ultimate's gonna get used. Holy! This is some just... Again, they have to play the risky game. Unfortunately, it is not going as well intended, especially with the ultimate being used by Yes I Can so early, even on their own side. You saw the ultimate just getting so many catches on both teams as well. Now they back away. John Olsen wants the heat, gets caught, and somehow this double push from Full Sense is working. The coordination, the synergy, timing, favoring Full Sense here. Foxy, you still can't really rest on your laurels just yet, as he is trying to isolate some angles. Blade is available.
Shutting them down.
Throws it out, tries to get some information. What does he get? Nothing.
Nothing.
Now, does that give him some info that they played on connector? But he's just making sure he's got... They can at least take it a little bit slower, but John Olsen was just holding the angle, catches him as he tries to plant.
The gap is closing now for Full Sense here. Really catching up. Maybe they've downloaded already what Fancy is always trying to do, and I feel like this operator is truly really hurting them, especially once the controllers are the first ones to go down on their end. So let's see. Hunter's Fury now for really nice post plan. But actually getting there and getting post plan positioning is always, I feel like Fancy's having a hard time at the moment, at least.
All right. Let's see if Fancy can turn things around, right?
Yeah.
We still have that 2-round advantage, but Full Sense, this is the pushback that I think they were hoping for. They're starting to also figure out the formula on Fancy's control on mid. Yes I Can brought in here to connector, pushing through tower potentially on the A site. Drone does not get broken. Potter reveals that he has the operator in hand already, and he's getting way pushed back. That is such a great pitch. Can they even find Alert that's, or rather, Sushi Boys that's at the back of the site? Absolutely. High ground advantage again for Nia here, as Leviathan really caught. Can't push through the smoke right now. Just making sure that mid
Spike
is
planted.
at least contained. Alert's been pretty good at getting these kills, but can he help lead this team to victory? Neural Theft now used. Gets information onto mid. Is that going to be the committed play? Looks like that's going to be the case. 3 versus 4. Time not really favoring Full Sense right now. Paranoia perfect, but not perfect enough. Leviathan is just going to have to save. Yeah, he's backing away. He can't really do anything anymore.
I really like that tower control. I feel like it has been a key of victory on say, the A side, where not only through hold but as well as through access, and it was Yes I Can was able to break that door off into connector into tower, and after that everything just practically fell apart. Full
Last
Sense has
round before
only
the
one
switch.
access to their retake, and that Cove just really blocked off Leviathan from doing Leviathan plays. So I feel like Fancy, really nice adjustment from them, and now they have a null command as well to take this into a possible another A hit. No operator anymore for Potter, by the way. Just very expensive rounds all over the place.
To add to what you were mentioning as well on tower as well, right? Because of so much noise being thrown by Full Sense, or rather by Fancy United, I don't think Full Sense actually heard the door being broken. So they're like, where did this flank come from? We got hit by so many things, and then where did he come from? You know, it's just one of those things.
True. It happens. It happens.
Just adds up. So your boys was at least stationed somewhere near that connector, just so that maybe he can spot something, maybe the push happening. And now I think Fancy, yeah, they're committing a lot more utility there. You see both of the initiators actually holding mid.
Yeah.
Drone was used. No info gathered, so Full Sense should have a clearer picture that B could be a good hit site for... yeah, he hears it. I think he knows. They might be starting to rotate some players right now. Parana's going to hit. Potter's by himself. Peek is going to be very crucial as he gets the first pick. Tries to back away. Uses the wall for a little bit of that cover as Nia can actually find him. It's ring around the rosy. Nia, who wins? It's going to be Potter. All down into the hands of Twilight, and he falls down, and that's going to be that. Flawless round for Full Sense.
Okay, very interesting.
Switching
I think
sides.
they've
Right? It looked like it was already looking Fancy United's game, and somehow Full Sense was able to bring it back from the dead by adaptation and whatever was needed to just get that done. In any case, Full Sense now sending it to the B site. Controls all around.
Spike
Can't really plant that spike just yet. They'll be able to do now. And it's going to be pistol for pistol. What's going to happen here? Lots of positioning. Great catch altogether. Potter's by himself. Can't really put position because of the fragment. Now he does. 2 players right in front. He's just so sick with it. What a flank from Potter onto Twilight. His days are numbered. His days are over.
enemy remaining.
Nia, the other Jet player, is coming in all the way through B main to 2 versus 1. Potter's already low. Defuse starting right now. Coming around the corner, and it doesn't matter. The White Swing works out, and that's going to be the 4K for Potter. Single-handedly, almost single-handedly delivering the round to Full Sense.
Yeah, that all happened so fast, but Potter really shined as the hero of that round. Like, take a look at this onto tower. I thought he was going to be overwhelmed by these 2 players from Fancy, but no. The quick shots, the precise aim by Potter into the dash. 5 HP, still able to find a kill onto Nia after all of that. And I think that's a really good start for this first half. I have a feeling Full Sense will completely ignore mid, because look at this play. Again, it's the classic Nia. I'm gonna push forward with this high tide, scan, flash. But if no one's there, how can you get a kill?
John Olsen's just like, I'm going to stop the cross. You can't do anything about it. This wall also stops Nia from getting the kill onto John Olsen. And now, the same thing. It's going to be Full Sense. Getting the site planted already. Oh, boy. Okay, challenge accepted, but challenge incomplete as Nia drops down to John Olsen. Been pretty hot with the Marshal so far. And it's just going to keep continuing. Potter's already down to 5, so he doesn't want to lose this battle in hand. Even though they're winning this round, it's just a little bit too expensive if he drops it, right? In any case, should be a pretty clean, straight round for Full Sense.
Yeah. able to take this to even 7-7. And Fancy did feel like they were kind of running away with the map on the first half, but Full Sense now, after this, looking at their second half, their control, the way that they're just ignoring mid or keeping John Olsen to keep an eye out on Nia's classic maneuver on Catwalk. I think that may solve the problem if this continues. I think I'm really curious about this buy round as well, if they're going to be doing the same thing with the Harbor, Jet, KO, actually everybody. Because you need the scan, you need the flag,
The
you
whole
need the wall.
team just pushing mid, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you commit 4 players on mid and hope Full Sense doesn't get a whiff of it, because it could actually happen.
Let's see.
I mean, Fancy United, like I said, right? They're a team that likes to do these types of setups. And if it works great. They're like geniuses. But things like that, getting caught out by Sushi Boys,
Camera, take him
definitely
out.
not to what they want to happen. Nia, okay, this could be the death of John Olsen.
Spike planted.
Eee.
Does he know? I mean, he has to know.
Eyes down.
Yeah, he does. That's a great pinch play right now. Nia could prove some damage if nobody actually deals with him. This leaves at least Sushi Boys to try to 1 versus 1. While 2 players now are going to be holding that B site by themselves. Potter has got to go big. Sushi Boys right now, again,
enemy
on the
remaining.
fight. Alert,
Last
doing pretty
player
well.
standing.
Around the corner. But it's not going to be enough to deal with Foxy. And he's going to be able to defuse that spike as Fancy and I get themselves a point on the board.
Still very, very close game. That felt like an almost. Could have been either way, but I do feel like there is a connection to the whole mid stack, you know? If ever they don't get a kill onto mid, they just kind of envelop the entire B side or maybe A side. I feel like John Olsen probably has a big role to play here to keep Nia in check constantly. So expect a lot of 1v1s. Maybe that's the reason why the Outlaw has been bought by John Olsen as well, ready to take on this Jet from the opposite side.
And he's the one that can definitely do that, right? It's the Sentinel as well. He has so much utility to break down on it, and I mean, pretty close enough. He's almost with his neural theft. Alert, well, doing the same thing as well. They just know the timing of Nia now. Nia's been forcing that mid for the past like 4 or 5 rounds here, and Alert and the rest of Full Sense, they've got him locked and loaded. This opens up the A site. This loses mid control for Fancy. Not the best situation to be in, especially when Full Sense are already working their way to, you know, getting A.
Yep, and they're gonna get tower control, and then you don't have access from spawn because Alert is actually there to watch any potential flank. I'm a bit worried about Twilight's life here on the map.
No more.
Yep.
Yeah. That does buy some very good timing for Full Sense, because it loses Fancy the flank that they were kind of hoping for. Creates more space for them to move around with. And I think, yeah, Fancy are realizing this and they're just going to back away. Can't really hold the angle anymore. Just save. We're probably going to be lacking in money if we try to force this again if we lose. So, yeah, live to fight for another day is the game plan, at least for now.
It was really... Again, I don't know when Fancy can let go of this Nia push on the mid. Because the reason why they keep doing this is because they were winning a lot of the rounds last night against Unsigned 5 through that one single method. Every single time, Unsigned 5 is always ready to take that fight in Catwalk, but I don't think Full Sense is giving them that. They're just gonna put Alert and John Olsen as like towers of defense to protect that area. And if Nia pushes, then great, Nia's gone, right? So let's see if Full Sense is gonna keep doing this. Oh, actually, Fancy decides to be different.
Yeah, they brought Nia the other way, but he doesn't get any information. This is interesting. Cloudburst just to create a little bit of space. Both teams back away now on the contact. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So no real information gathered other than just a flash and a recon dart and the KO blade. That's about it, right?
Yeah. The mind games. Even using the high tide in the mid, even in the mid part of the map. The cruise has coming apart.
Oh, okay. Quick little trade again. So it's no way.
Oh,
John Olsen actually is able to survive. Whoa, that could be big. Alerts slowly pushing up on mid here. I'm not sure if anyone spotted anyone on mid on that encounter. Cruz might have gotten a whiff or something. Nia now slowly creeping up right now. John Olsen's just about to go for the information gather, and he could get dusted. The push out, the peek, and the cyber cage just able to give them that information. Nia immediately just goes around the corner right now,
30 seconds
and he
left.
knows that there's two of them. Information gathered, great kills all together, and somehow John Olsen gets the kill onto Nia here. This is just falling to pieces for Fancy United, and they're going to get forced to go again for a save. I mean, they're just on the pistols, but right about now, it's just going to be a wipeout, and Full Sense come out on top.
it's all about the mid game here for both of these teams. Having to keep Nia in check to not allow him to just run rampant in this map. So they constantly always try to identify where he is, where the play is going to be coming from. Is it going to be a surprise from A? Is it going to be the classic Fancy push at Catwalk? That's always the question that they have to identify. And again, similar to Potter earlier, it's not relevant in the score, but John Olsen this time is always keeping mid in check. He's always going to be the one finding Nia's head. Maybe this time it'll work.
Oh, there he is. He's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he gets a kill, John Olsen has done more than enough. But this time, great setup for Fancy. Stop them there in their tracks. Potter wants to go for some blood here as his team and himself pushes through. That's no kills for him, but double for Sushi Boys. So he does get a little bit of love. 3-2. Reckoning's used already. Sushi Boys giving away his position because of the pop shots, but it's not really enough pressure that it causes him off guard. No way that he still does this under pressure. Twilight gets spotted out as well. Leviathan is separated from his teammate, but Twilight has still yet to start working on that spike. So he's going to start to plant the spike, or tap the spike, but then he gets caught out. And Full Sense now get themselves double digits on the rounds.
Whew, great smoke as well coming from Leviathan for him to be able to cross and keep, yes, I can, Twilight guessing. Fancy United, an understandable timeout, double digits for Full Sense.
Yeah.
They've got them figured out. Again, having to pull attention, keep Nia in check with the mid, and with Catwalk, with mid. And I think just everything just falls apart after that.
Ooh. Can they keep continuing, though? I mean, this type of play, right? To keep pushing on that mid just to go for the pinch, because it feels like because they put so much resources on that push, sure, they can get John Olsen, but they're always forced to play post-plant, which I think we'll see in the end stats later, whoever wins this. But again, I think Full Sense are just keeping that rhythm. Unless Fancy United figure a way out of this loop that they're in, I think Full Sense will just keep doing the same thing over and over again until it, it just stops working. But then we only really need like 3 rounds for Full Sense and it's done. The series is already over.
And they're forced to do a bit of a broken buy here. Half buys. A Bulldog still deciding if they want to do Guardians or something like that. Looking at the positioning of Fancy though, they might do the same technique, and maybe Full Sense is ready to fight them head on.
Yeah, it actually just slides right in. Oh, Dash is prepared. He wants some blood here, and he converts! What a flick from Nia onto Alert! Sushi Boys trying to run away from the Hunter's Fury. Manages to survive. If he drops, that also will be the drop on the spike. Now we do see many players trying to spread themselves out. John Olsen here on B. Well, we see Leviathan already crept up on spawn. You can see there is some little bit of, again, fear for that. Great catch on the Twilight here. This opens up the site. Now Leviathan, can he find where Foxy is? Kind of does though, but still unsuccessfully. I think it's just the lack of weapons that's really hurting him as well. Sheriffs and
Yeah.
the Sheriffs in hand, not really enough to really, deal any
significant damage, unless it was that play from Nia earlier.
I know, I was surprised that Full Sense was ready to
30
take them
seconds
on on mid, maybe because of the weapon advantage.
Planted.
Fancy with the two-man, you know, lead. But after that, it's the individual plays from John Olsen, Leviathan, and Sushi Boys, forcing Fancy to play hide and seek. And you know what they find? It's just death all over the place. Full Sense getting the plant on the spike again, and now they're going to be 11-8. Fancy, their timeout did not work out too well.
Yeah, and again, as that tripwire gets broken in mid, it was just signal for where Yes I Can could be coming from, but he just saves a weapon. That's as good as it's going to get for him. Look at this, the Leviathan just actively looking for him. No contact whatsoever. Their opponent's just all the way tucked away neatly on A site, A main. 2 more rounds in Full Sense, got this done and dusted. So it's still the same thing here, Riku. Fancy United, the way that they're approaching this game is still the same from like 5 rounds ago. And Full Sense, like I mentioned, they still have everything really locked in. The only real difference was they banked on the fact that Nia could maybe make some impact, which he certainly did, but it still definitely wasn't enough.
Yeah, it's not as consistent as they want it to be. Okay, if Catwalk doesn't work out, let's go for the lower ground.
Okay.
But they're delayed. Full
There's like
Sense.
3 people.
Here.
Yeah, there's too many people too.
Okay. You try to check it as well. Interestingly enough, though, there's no... Oh.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Sushi... Okay. Sushi Boys was going for the no sound jump. Where you kind of, you know, start jumping and crouching just so that you don't get heard. Nice trick. Actually
So
catches Nia off guard. What a nasty way to go down.
One
Foxy
enemy
will get the
remaining.
catch onto alert, though. Does get the immediate refrag, and Twilight is by himself. Has to run all the way through A, and at this point, you can't save, right? You have to go for the 4 versus 1. You can't
Spike
put your
planted.
team in a 12-8 when the tempo is severely out of your control.
Yeah, this is such a rough situation for Fancy. They've been struggling. This crossfire is not gonna pull off. It's not gonna stop. It's not gonna pull off any miracle for Fancy. And again, Full Sense, they've got them figured out. I really think that's practically it. Fancy trying their best to catapult Nia into more creative ways to attack mid, but it's all the same concept. It's how to utilize Catwalk with your flash from the KO, with the high tide from this harbor. But all Full Sense has to do is either stack up or completely avoid that for the utility to go to waste.
All roads lead to Nia just always being at mid, right? It is. This is not the road they want to take. They want to take a detour at some point. And it's still the same play for Fancy here. There's the catch onto Cruz, and he somehow manages to escape. Down to very low digits. Spike's gonna get planted here, but maybe this is where it changes up a little bit. Full Sense did not deal with Nia. Now he's going for the big flank, potentially through mid. John Olsen's eyes are set already for that. Potter is already down. His health from Leviathan is already gone as well because Twilight just deals with him. And now here's the force from Foxy using the ultimate. Catches?
Enemy remaining.
No way this is still working in their favor. How? Fancy United! They got